on the mainland. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little tour of the circuit. But before we do that, we'd like to read a scripture for you in the Bible in Matthew chapter 11 and verse 19. Matthew 11:19. This is a scripture we found to be very applicable to Mexico English. Would someone like to read the last sentence of Matthew 11:19? Nice strong voice. Want to stand up and turn around?
All the same, wisdom is proved righteous by its works.
So that scripture basically means if we take a certain plan or a certain course of action and it proves successful, then obviously it was the right thing to do, right? And that is the story of Mexico English. It started in 1996 with one congregation because there were a lot of foreigners in that city, which was San Miguel de Allende. And then Ajijic is another city that had a lot of foreigners, started the second congregation. And then it kept growing. But what we noticed was that a lot of the interest was with not foreigners, Mexicans who spoke English. So our field expanded to include them. And it just kept growing and growing. And now it has gained rapid growth, momentum, speed. You know, Isaiah 60 and 22. Jehovah will speed it up. And it is really speeding up. In the first 2.5 years, my wife and I were in the circuit work. We formed 11 congregations. In the next 3 years, we formed 19. And last year, in 1 year, 11. And this year, 14. That's 24 congregations, 25 congregations in 2 years. It's better than a congregation a month, and that's this circuit. Okay, so we have great growth. We already have 33 congregations in this circuit and 8 groups. So we're 41 destinations to visit. It's 2 circuits. So it's impossible. So I have substitute circuit overseers working too. And by the end of the service year in September, we might have as high as 48 congregations and groups. And the thing is, Jehovah is blessing that. Like this scripture, the results are there. I'll give you an example. And brothers here from San Luis, Rio, Colorado. 2 brothers who are elders and their wives went down to San Luis, Rio, Colorado, which is just south of Yuma, and they started to work in the service there. They started studies. They asked if we could have a meeting there. When we were visiting Mexicali, we went for a meeting. About 50-some people showed up, and we said, okay, let's start a group. And they agreed to become part of that group. They had their first meeting, 76 people came. Okay? And the second meeting, 70. And these are not visitors. These are people there that want to come into English. See? And that story is very common throughout the country. So Jehovah's blessing the work. And the most encouraging part is the amount of people who are studying with us and now coming to the meetings and getting baptized. Because in the beginning, the growth was just with people moving into English and people moving down from other countries, Canada, the United States. We had lots of Bible studies, but we would always say to the brothers, well, yes, you have Bible studies, but where are they? See,
yes, where are
one city, Saltillo, we had 17 publishers, 74 Bible studies, but no one coming to the meeting. But that's not the case now. They're coming to the meetings, they're getting baptized. We have 21 here. Get baptized, shouldn't have said that. Don't say anybody I told you that. Oh, that's 2 of those words. Anyway, worked up in my mind. But total at our 4 district conventions, 60 baptized. Now last year, 60 for the whole country for all the assemblies. And all the baptized in the entire year, but this time just for the district convention. Okay? 63 in the whole country. We had 44 baptized in this circuit before this convention. And now another 21. See? So that's 65, right? In this circuit alone. And we only have a little over 1,000 publishers, so it's a 6.5% increase. The country is 3% increase, so we're doing better than the national average. So yes, Jehovah's blessing this work. So we're happy that you're considering coming. We need people everywhere. You can pick your place. So I'll just go through a bit of the history of the what's going on. So up here on the border now in Tijuana, we have 8 congregations. Beginning of the service year in September last year, or now about a year and so since then, we had 3. We have 8 congregations in 2 groups, and they'll shortly be congregations. And our goal is about maybe 15 congregations in Tijuana. And we have Tecate to the east. There's a good sized congregation there that could maybe divide and form a second congregation at a time. In Mexicali, we have about 500,000 people with only 1 congregation. It's a very nice safe city on the border. And we started a second group there. Interesting thing about the second group is that both the elders that are in Spanish that we are putting the group under, starting the group under the supervision of the Spanish, both the elders speak perfect English, and they would like to come into English, but they have to take care of their Spanish congregation. The majority of people in the congregation want to come into English, so the circuit overseer in Spanish says, why don't we just make it an English congregation? Amazing. So we'll see what happens. And then next to that, we have San Luis Rio, Colorado, we mentioned. Now, going south, we have Ensenada and Rosarito, 3 congregations. 2 congregations in Rosarito and Primo Tapia congregation in the south. Ensenada, we just started a new group. 3 congregations. There'll be now soon 4 congregations. And then going farther south is San Quintin or Nuevo Huercia. They have a small congregation there where they have need. And then right across to the Sea of Cortez is San Felipe. And that's a small congregation also has a need there. In southern Baja, we started a new group in Loreto, so it's an official group. And it's right in the middle of a whole group of cities. Mulahay, Santa Rosalia, San Ignacio,